this has been something that the United States and probably many other countries have like involved themselves in. It's not new. I guess when you point it out like this and when you see it, it's when you say it out loud, it sounds nuts. But like it's happened many times before. All right, guys, welcome. If you're a fan of Tucker Carlson, you might enjoy this next segment. Let's have a look. Let's have a listen.
Welcome to one of the most disgusting podcasts I've ever seen. A podcast from prison, from a guy who went to jail for costing people billions of dollars. Eventually, he basically lucked out because crypto markets ramped back up. So luckily, people are getting their money back. And now he's making a case that maybe he should be pardoned. Maybe he should get off. We're talking, of course, about Sam Bankman-Fried, the person behind FTX, Alameda gambling billions of dollars. And the guy interviewing him doesn't really care about any of the details of the case. Instead, he's focused on a very strange line of questioning, which is, hey, you donated money to Democrats. Why didn't you get more corruption? Which I know is a strange thing to say. But this is the interview. It's by Tucker Carlson, Sam Bankman-Fried on life in prison with Diddy, and how Democrats stole his money and betrayed him. And you will find the premise is basically that, hey, you gave them money. Why didn't they do the corruption? Which is just like bizarre, because aren't we all on the same page that political corruption should not exist, right? Like how can you steal someone's donation unless you're implying that quid pro quo should exist?
I think Tucker Carlson is like, I don't know. I think he has mental health issues. I think he's genuinely struggling with mental health issues. The reason why I say that is because I watched an interview between him and Lex Fridman. The whole thing. I don't know why I watched it. It came as a shock to me that someone like Lex Fridman. Now it starts to make a little bit more sense, but it came as a shock to me that someone like Lex Fridman was interviewing the likes of Tucker Carlson. I guess he wanted to keep his mind a little bit more open. I don't know. And he came across as manic. He was like very hostile. He was like manically laughing at awkward times. I looked at him and I thought to myself, that man, I hope he's getting help.
Exist. The implicit assumption here is, oh, they should have basically let you off, even if you stole billions of dollars, because you gave them money.
The real America.
Insane. I mean, it's just like, what are we doing here, fellas? What are we doing? Anyway, I'll just show you the clip and we'll talk about it.
Big picture, without getting into like all the details of your case, but it does seem like you guys made a decision at your company to form political alliances through political donations, which is not singling you out. You're hardly the only businessman who's done that. It's actually kind of par now.
It's bad though, right? We are going to say that that's bad. Trying to win political favors with money, right?
But you gave so much to Democrats
the house rules.
I kind of thought they would rescue you in the end. Where were all your friends in the Democratic Party? They usually keep their friends from going to jail.
But
Tony Podesta
I don't
never
get
went
it.
to jail.
Wouldn't the Democratic Party have had to win in order for them to even do the crime? I'm so lost.
Oh, why did you?
Oh, it's a really good question. Obviously, I can only guess at the answer to that. I can only...
This guy, if you don't know this guy, oh my God. I don't know if he's lost in the sauce or just... Actually, I think he's not lost in the sauce. I think he knows exactly what he's doing and he benefits from it. He paints himself as such a weak individual that it's easy to overlook him as someone who would, you know, steal millions of dollars or perform any wrongdoing. This guy scares me. This guy genuinely scares me.
only speculate because I'm not in their minds.
The answer is it was billions of dollars of fraud.
Sorry, billions.
What are you talking about? Why weren't you rescued from, you know, your billions of dollars?
This guy, if you know, oh my God, what was that girl's name? Oh my God. Hold up. I gotta find this. Ozark cast. Julia Garner shows this shit. Anna Delvey, I think was her name. this girl had a crazy life where she stole, I think she played this girl, Anna Delvey, who, if you want to know what this guy did, Anna Sorkin, Anna Delvey, con artist and a fraudster. It was kind of, Sam Bankman-Fried, this guy with the I guess frizzly hair, whatever you want to call it, did what she did. This is a great show, by the way, if you want to watch it. It's called Inventing Anna. It's a true story about how this con artist steals millions of dollars from high-profile, weak. And the reason I say weak is because they were weak at the time. Before she would sit down with these it was a numbers game for her. She was very smart in her scam. She would she found a way to have a seat with these high-profile real estate investors, and found one particular real estate investor who was weak at the time because I think his daughter was going through something, and was able to embezzle money out of that man, millions of dollars. And what this guy did is 10 times that.
There's a fraud because you gave some money to different. Isn't that what we all want?
It was crazy.
What
it was crazy.
And then, by the way, my favorite part about this is the rationalization of basically Sam's going to say, well, maybe I wasn't Democrat enough. And maybe if I had been no, that's not why. You were a huge fraudster. You went to jail, as should be expected. We should all be happy about that. And to the extent there is political corruption and people aren't going to jail because they're donating, we should be targeting that as the problem, not, hey, you donated a lot of money. Why didn't you get a get out of jail free card with the FBI?
People are wild, bro.
One fact that might be relevant is, in 2020, I was center left, and I gave to Biden's campaign.
This guy believes in nothing, by the way.
I was optimistic he'd be a sort of solid center left president. I spent the next few years in DC a lot. I made dozens of trips there, and was really, really shocked by what I saw. Not in a good direction from the administration. By late 2022, I was giving to Republicans privately as much as Democrats. And
there it is.
Wait, what did he say?
Is Democrats. By late 2022, I was giving to Republicans privately as much as Democrats.
Yeah, okay. So that's what I figured.
That started becoming known right around FTX's collapse. So that probably played a role.
So, okay, just so we're clear, his explanation is the reason I didn't get any quid pro quo is because I also gave to the other team trying to win their quid pro quo because he was trying to hedge his bets. Remember, this is the same guy who goes, oh, yeah, all you have to do is say the right shibboleths and people...
Another crazy thing that I think happened, I could be wrong about this, is this guy swindled, I think, millions of dollars out of Tom Brady. They were doing commercials at the time where Brady was investing a lot in crypto through this guy's company.
Basically, you just
Alameda.
say whatever you need to get power, which is exactly what he's doing here, by the way. He's aligned himself now with he was with the left when Biden was in office. Now he's with the right now that Trump's in office because he's angling for a pardon. And why aren't we skeptically looking at that? This guy believes in absolutely zero. All of a sudden, he was left and then he was donating to the right because he wanted to get both sides. And now his explanation of the reason, I didn't get pardoned, which this is not why, but he's basically saying the reason I didn't get pardoned is because it got out that I was trying to win both sides. I was trying to buy both teams, and that's the no-no. And it's just insane. This interview's kind of implicit premise is if you don't give people a get out of jail free card, you have stolen their money and betrayed them. Do you guys understand how insane this is? The literal
I'm telling you, this man Tucker Carlson, I think is I think Kanye West's mental health and this guy's have a lot in common.
Democrats refuse to rescue SBF despite his large donations. What are we doing here, fellas? Hey, look,
he needs attention. I don't think he's.
By the way, I despise this politics stuff. I don't like it. I do not like it.
I love it. I love it so much.
We cannot ignore the fact that fraudsters are
I don't know
basically
why.
walking free left and right because of political contributions, and or at least it doesn't hurt them. I am of course talking about Justin Sun, who got charged by the SEC basically a couple years ago for pretty serious fraud claims. Market manipulation, wash trading, things that hurt like real customers. This is not some political anything. It's just like, hey, you committed fraud, or it looks like you committed fraud. We're going to go after you. That's sort of the idea that the SEC's indictment would have you believe. Now, it just so happens to be that Justin Sun, same guy who got indicted, donated a ton of money to World Liberty Financial, which is the Trump financial project. In fact, he donated so much money that the guy who leads it, the founder, claims that World Liberty Financial's success came partly because of Justin Sun. He says the project's fortunes changed, however, when Justin Sun stepped in. This guy, Folkman said, with a gesture towards Sun, saw that regardless of the outcome, this project is a monumental move for the entire crypto community. Justin Sun put 10 figures into it, over $10 million. I've seen reports that it was $75 million into this Trump-backed coin, which you could not trade. So it's like, why would you put money into a coin you couldn't sell? And you're being indicted by the SEC, or you're being charged by the SEC, and just coincidentally, you put in $75 million into the political leader's coin, right? All of a sudden, what happens? SEC halts fraud prosecution of the crypto bros' purchases enriched Trump. Quote, on Wednesday, the Securities Exchange Commission and Sun sent a joint letter to a federal judge asking for a stay of Sun's case. Now, did this all come because of the donations or the buying of the World Liberty Financial token? It's hard to know. I'm sure it didn't hurt, right? It's a similar type of tacit donation that Bankman-Fried made. So it's impossible not to look at this interview and compare the two outcomes. And you go like, well, are we just like selling get out of jail free cards to people, right? Again, not saying that Sun directly did that, but indirectly, if you literally are credited with like the turnaround of someone's entire
I think it's pretty shitty, by the way. Sorry, I know it doesn't matter, but the fact that like he recorded him, I don't know. The fact that he recorded him with a brown. Yeah, actually, this is fucked up, bro. Sorry, the fact that he recorded him in a brown prison jumpsuit and then changed the color to orange for more impressions on the YouTube algorithm or wherever this was posted. I think it's YouTube.
And
that's crazy,
the
bro.
Two outcomes, and you go like, well, are we just like selling get out of jail free cards to people?
That's wild,
right? Again, not saying that Sun directly did that, but indirectly, if you literally are credited with like the turnaround of someone's entire crypto endeavor, and then all of a sudden you get let off being prosecuted, we have to look at that skeptically. Like, it's, come on, let's put two and two together a little bit. But it's insane to have a podcast where instead of like seeing that as the problem, like Justin Sun getting off after making one of Trump's projects very wealthy, instead of seeing that as the problem and maybe something that politically is corrupt, we go, well, why didn't you benefit from the same thing, Sam Bankman-Fried? Why did you get your money stolen? And why were you betrayed? I mean, what a backwards clown world to live in where we're having prisoners pontificate about, well, why weren't you just like, you paid?
Holy shit.
Why didn't you get what you paid for? It's
crazy,
just,
brother.
It's crazy. I mean, it's
actual insanity.
Absolutely insane. We are in so much of the like bizarro world where we're almost like
okay. To be fair, like okay, I don't know. Maybe okay. I understand the shock and awe, but also like this has been something that the United States and probably many other countries have like involved themselves in. It's not new. I guess when you point it out like this and when you see it, it's when you say it out loud, it sounds nuts, but like it's happened many times before. It's just like the 2008 financial housing crash where like the banks knew that they were selling dog shit. They knew that millions of people were going to lose their homes. They knew that people didn't understand the mortgage loans that they were signing and the interest rates that were going. People didn't understand how the interest rates were going to increase. They knew all of that. And then what happened at the end of it all? Those people that were in on the scam were able to save their companies. We're talking about the major banks here, because they filed for bankruptcy. And then the government just said, you know what, it's fine. Nobody goes to jail. No, we'll just pretend nobody did anything wrong. It's happened before.
Everyone feel bad for the criminals who basically didn't benefit from political corruption. You did all the right things, Sam. Can you please explain why you didn't also get out of jail? I mean, basically what we're realizing is Sam was...
And who got, like, effed over during that crisis? The immigrants, poor people, even teachers. Like, I don't know why the middle class
too early.
is just...
I mean, Sam was too early, and if he had just been a little bit later, and he had lined the right pockets, would he have gone to jail? It's impossible to say. In fact, what's sick about this, dude, I don't know if y'all see that I'm going crazy. I'm going a little bit crazy. What's sick about it is that Sam Bankman-Fried is now parlaying for a pardon, right? And we're all clear about that. He's basically trying to say that his prosecution was political. The irony is, what we've just established is that in some ways it's the most not political prosecution because he donated the most to the guys who were in office at the time. So actually it's not political that you went to jail, I guess. But now he's trying to say like, oh, what happened to me is maybe similar to what happened to Trump. Maybe I was politically prosecuted.
Biased judges in terms of prosecutorial abuse, and in terms of sort of the politicization of the DOJ over the last decades, and I would say speeding up recently.
And do you think your trial is part of that story?
I think that's a piece of the picture.
How could it possibly be a piece of the picture? And now he's sort of going the whole, like he's aligning himself with the guys in power for the same reasons he did it the last cycle. And we're sort of credulously interviewing him on podcast after podcast with very little pushback beyond, hey, do you feel like you got cheated because you didn't get the same deal that, maybe other people have gotten where they paid their way out of their problems? Now, not only was this crazy to watch Sam say this, there's also just sort of no pushback on Sam's kind of discussion of, he's sort of asked like, oh, do you think you're the biggest criminal? Sam says no, and then there's not really any pushback because I'm not sure Tucker understands the details or cares about the details.
They compared this man to like Bernie Madoff is like crimes. That's the kind of level we're talking about.
Look, interview whoever you want, but if you're going to interview one of arguably the biggest financial criminals of the last decade, you should know what he did. Like, you should know the details.
This guy stole so much money.
Instead of just being like, well, do you think you did it? No, I don't. Okay, well, I don't want to get into it.
Oh,
Being as honest as you can, do you think you were the biggest criminal in the crypto business?
I don't think I was a criminal. So certainly the answer to that is no. I mean, I think the DOJ thinks that I may have been, but I don't share their viewpoint.
Well, yeah, you're in jail. They definitely, that's their claim anyway. But I wonder, and I'm not,
I don't understand how this guy can be in jail and keep such a level head. This man should be studied. Like, he must have one of the lowest heart rates in the world. Like, he's just so calm. This is Kobe level calmness. It's crazy.
Your business and other businesses like it in the past, and again, I'm not even getting into the details of your case because it's like Byzantine, but
No, not but. Not but. What do you mean? Hey, I'm going to ask you if you're a criminal. You say no. Well, I don't want to get into the details because it's Byzantine. What?
What does that even mean?
It's just so weird. And
what does that mean, Byzantine? Oh, Byzantine. Byzantine. Relating to Byzantium. Complicated, excessively complicated, Byzantine, and typically involving a great deal of administrative detail. It's Byzantine. Byzantine.
It's like, why does this interview exist? It's not like Sam is a darling of the right. He's trying to make himself one. I don't even understand what this piece of media is or what it hopes to achieve. And I'm just
I don't know.
Sort of frustrated because now the new playbook for scammers and people like the Tate brothers who are accused of horrendous actions is just to cry political prosecution, and it's sort of working. So it's infected my sphere of influence where I talk about scams, and these scammers are now saying, with no seeming cause, they're like, well, I'm politically prosecuted. It was all politics. And so now I feel like I have to talk about it. I can't have, Sam Bankman-Fried from prison angling for some kind of pardon with a guy who has no idea about his case. And it's just like, I have to talk about it. I don't want to talk about it. Why? It's stupid. It's stupid. This isn't a political thing. Fraud should not be political. Scams should not be a political issue. We should hate them equally on both sides. And the same is true of corruption, which is kind of a type of scam, where you get away with something for no reason, other than you've aligned yourself, you've lined the right pockets. These should be universal issues that we all agree on. So it kind of disgusts me that I have to even talk about it, but we can't trick ourselves into like what's actually happening here. Why is Sam going on these podcasts? Also, we played this Sun interview. Why is he going on this podcast? Is it because he just loves talking, or is it because he's trying to align himself and trying to claim like political prosecution to try to get a pardon, even though we've already gone through the litigation of establishing that he's one of the great financial criminals of our time? Anyways, it's just insane. I mean, what a wild discussion. To go, hey, you lined everyone's pockets. Why'd they steal your money and betray you when you committed crimes? We are in a, yeah, dude. I feel like every day we sink more.
The problem is, I hope Trump administration isn't gonna see this and be like, oh, guys, get him out. What are we doing? This is not the status quo.
This black hole, the void, you might say. Every day I'm just like hit with these insane things, and I'm having to ingest it, and I'm like, every day I'm like, it can't get worse. So yeah, that's basically it. One of the more disgusting interviews I've seen, and I hope people view it outside of the polarizing lens of politics and just realize corruption is bad and we should not accept it.
Yeah, I don't know. The reason why I think politics is so important to begin with is because people look at how the politics is managed, and then, kind of like monkey see, monkey do. So if the highest administrations in your country, which are usually doing political dealings, on a daily basis, that is a main portion of politics. If you see them engaging in corruption, then you're going to say, okay, this administration, or this, idol of our leadership says that this is okay, so I'm going to do it. That's why it's so important, because at the end of the day, when you're talking about politics, you're talking about what the leaders of the countries are deciding for their country. And not just that, but you're also, through their actions, you're seeing what is acceptable to do, People don't just do stuff off a whim. They get ideas based off of, other people's actions, and then do these things. That's how you learn. So I don't know, but yeah, that's wild. The fact that Tucker Carlson's biggest question was not, hey, do you regret stealing billions of dollars from people? It was, how come when you paid off the right people, they didn't come to your aid? That guy's, I don't know, maybe he's watched too many Disney movies or something. That's insane. That's insane.